Initially, I was really interested in exploring Mount Fuji, and in more particular, the origins it has in Japan. But as things change, as documentaries have to, the idea kind of became more central to a group of students experiencing one of the more developed megacities in the world, which is Tokyo, Japan. And really, what the documentary began to explore was the troubles, successes, and experiences we kind of encountered well in Tokyo, this megacity that is something so far from our North American culture that we've become accustomed to. In order to pull something like this off, I had to have an amazing crew. Sean, Eric, and Tristan were my phenomenal camera operators who, though we won't see a lot during this film, captured everything that we will see. My sound recordist, Mikey, on the other hand, is someone we will hear and see from a little bit. For the most part, though, we will be hearing from myself and my producer, Stephanie, who we forced into trying as much of the experience as possible due to her lack of experience traveling.
The moment that hit me the most was actually on the plane going to Japan, because once we got on the plane, we were actually already eating Japanese food, already having Japanese beer, and experiencing with all the other people on board. So it was really interesting to see, you know, we were already starting to adapt as we were on our way.
Landing at first was very surreal. However, right after was kind of our first real difficulty, as it occurred to us that we still had to figure out transportation.
Tokyo's subway system, that was very intimidating. There was so much going on. It looks like you're just looking at a spider's web or something, and they're all different colors and they're going different directions and you don't really know where to go. But then after, I guess, a few days of being there, we kind of get into the groove of things, and it was a very cool learning experience, but difficult.
It was really once we passed the more rural areas when we look around and we're just surrounded by this massive city, and it was really that welcome to Tokyo moment. Before we had left, we agreed upon certain landmarks, locations, and activities where we would be able to experience some of the more unique culture that Tokyo has to offer.
One place we had actually researched was Yoyogi Park, which is famous for youth and teen and artists and musicians all gathering in this place, usually on Sundays, to showcase their talents. It was a great experience for us to go there, because as soon as we walked through, you know, it was lively. There was, you know, people playing and in bands. There was different musicians there. There was artists. One was doing this awesome portrait and of a little girl, and that was just, it was really great to see. also a great place for families just to go and hang out on a Sunday and fly a kite or, you know, blow bubbles and just be together as a family. So it was great to see how, you know, community-oriented people were and how family-oriented people were.
Yoyogi Park may be one place to experience unique Japanese artists. However, we were also very fortunate to experience one of Japan's most historical arts, ninjutsu, taught by the ancient Musashi clan.
I sent out an email to Vanessa, but in Japanese, her name is Suzak. And she was a very, very cool lady. It was the second we saw her, it was like, yeah, she's a ninja. Or she's got something to do with ninjas. And she taught us lots of interesting, I guess, historical facts about her father, her grandfather, her great-grandfathers, just the rich history that her family name has in ninja.
Talk about this. Well, it will be a diplomatic problem. History should not change. He told the people to keep quiet for 50 years after his death. 50th memorial was over in 2010. My father became over 80 and he decided to retire, so I took over.
The most interesting part of the ninja experience was when we first went down to the basement. We entered this dark room. There's only a couple candles at the end of the hall, and there's just this man, this ninja, all dressed up with his back to us, and it looks like he's praying, and it was dead silent in there. And Suzak told us to kneel behind him, and so there's a line of us just kneeling. And honestly, through my head, I'm just thinking, I was like, what did we get ourselves into? Because at first it seemed like we were being like brought into their clan and there's like no going back sort of thing.
Rin, Pyo, To, Sha, Kai, Jin, Let's, Zai, Zen.
It was very intense almost. This moment was a little bit scary, but once we got into the swing of things and they put some weapons in my hand, I got comfortable.
This is water chestnut.
例えばいきなり後ろに追ってきてる敵に対してこれ巻くわけですね。そしたら相手が走ってきた時にこの足に刺さる。
Then if the enemy doesn't see it, then he steps on the thing and it hurts a lot.
そしたらまあ追跡するスピードが落ちて逃げ切れる。
Then he may not be able to run as fast as he should. Then I may be able to get away. This is a famous thing.
これは鍵爪というものです。
This is 鍵爪、鉄鋼鍵 known as bear claw.
まあこれは使い方はちょっと想像に任せます。いきますか。これはまあ通常やっぱりガードですね。防御ですからね。こうしようと思ってもこれはできません。
No, we don't do this.
刺さりますけど。
Then this is where you put poison and then you scratch.
That was intense. It was pretty intimidating. Not what I expected at all. I sucked at pretty much everything. The only thing I was good at was the blow darts. But everything else, it was so hard to do.
So just the way cutting the
Two
right
hand or one?
one hand. One hand. Because you hold the scabbard. Your country depends on your action, you know.
自分の恐怖心と責任感、義務感などと戦わなくてはいけない。
You have to fight against your feelings. Of course, it's your obligation or duty.
なので忍者の稽古というのは主にその武器を使ったというよりもそういった心の修行を
So, but we feel it's very important to train ourselves in mind.
That was probably the coolest part of the whole ninja experience, let alone throwing on ninja gear and throwing shurikens and holding on to kunai and actually having a katana around my belt and like saying some crazy Japanese words that sound like you're about to, you know, someone, and it was cool. It was cool.
Put the hands together. Take the hand out. 9 times.
林、票、投、下、开、进、let's、在、then、A。
And thank you very much.
While these experiences so far were truly amazing, not everything went as smoothly. In a city like Tokyo, we frequently got lost and overwhelmed by the size of the city and its buildings. And even some of our best nights were accompanied by some stressful moments.
We even got to go for drinks with a bunch of people from there. Well, needless to say, I had a couple too many beers and left my wallet in the washroom, and just as we were about to board the last train home, I had all of our tickets in there and all of our budget money in there. By the end of it, we ended up getting my wallet back. We ended up meeting up again, and we just had to cab it home because the train station closed.
Perhaps our most disappointing moment came when we really wanted to find a historical location in Tokyo, Edo Castle. It was a moment where we wanted to escape from the big modern city of Tokyo and just get lost in the historical aspects of Tokyo. And here we are, standing on the remains of a historical castle, yet all we can see around us is one of the most evolved modern cities in the world. It was after this we decided we needed to find something calming, something distant from the rush and adrenaline that inhabits Tokyo. We decided to check out the shrines throughout the Tokyo region to get in touch with some of Japan's oldest beliefs.
One day we actually got to go visit Meiji Shrine. That was actually really beautiful to see. It was unlike anything else. I've never been to any real holy places, so it was really impactful to see everyone and the way that they worship and the way that they show respect. It was unlike anything I've ever experienced.
We just had to purify our hands to show respect, and now we're going to fill out wishes and put them on the trees, and hopefully, brings good luck and good wisdom, and hopefully wishes come true.
The shrines were very calming, very good to the soul, and after almost a week of everything, we decided it was time to venture a little out of Tokyo to a smaller, more historical town called Hakone.
So Hakone actually was like a day-long adventure. We started in the morning and had to take several trains to get to Hakone. We went on these tiny little buses where our knees were shoved into our chest, and I'm the tiniest one in the group, so the guys with all the gear, I mean, I felt real bad for them. And then we eventually went up to see some of the shrines and got onto this awesome boat, which was like a pirate ship. It was really cool, you know, it was not what you would expect.
It was a perfect metaphor for us because it was taking us away from modern Japan into a more historical part of Hakone. And what's a better symbol of departing modern Japan than leaving by historical means of transportation?
The hot springs at Hakone, there's these long steps all the way up, which it took us about 10 minutes to climb all the way up there. I have asthma. I'm also a smoker, so by the time I got up to the steps, I was having an asthma attack. And there's this big sign once you get up there that if you have any asthma conditions, bronchitis, any health conditions, you know, anything that would be triggered by this sulfur, you should not be here.
After we get to the top of these sulfur springs, and they smelled horrible, somewhere between rotten eggs and garbage. But once you stop and you look around, you see this beautiful landscape below you, and in the distance, you can see Mount Fuji. So from the sulfur pits, we decide to take this beautiful gondola ride that takes us to Hakone's best visual of Mount Fuji. And seeing Mount Fuji was somewhere between losing your breath and feeling a piece of your heart kind of go, because it's really the whole reason I wanted to go there in the first place, and seeing it from afar, as beautiful as it was, just made me want to do everything I can to get back there as soon as I can.
Never ever in my wildest dreams did I think that an experience like that would have such an impact on me.
There's really no comparison between Tokyo and another major city. Like, I don't even want to waste my time going to other ones because Tokyo was that impressive. Did that sound too like harsh on the other places?
No.
Okay.
It's accurate.